Okay, yesterday we have seen how the pages and frames are, logical address space, which is called as logical memory, how it is mapped onto physical memory, which has all physical addresses called physical address space. There is a data structure called a page table, which will manage mapping of each entry in the page table of logical memory for each page onto a frame of physical memory. With respect to the size, we have seen. Always you remember page table means outside page number, inside frame number. So when you come here, outside frame number, inside pages, which are mapped onto. Okay. So coming for the similar explanation or a continuation. Okay, so make this page or the diagram half like this. Okay, so I hope you can see here. Right, left half is the before allocation and right half is after allocation. Okay, let me explain before allocation. What do you mean by free frames? See here you can see this is a process queue, ready queue, and all these processes with 0, 1, 2, 3 as number. So processes have following pages like page 0, 1, 2, 3. There are 4 pages not yet mapped onto physical memory. Okay, they are still waiting for their map. And we have a list of free frames available. I repeat, free frames available which we can utilize. Now what happens? How many free frames are there? 14th, 13th, 18th, 20, 15. So totally 5 frames are available, but we need only 4. We have only 4 pages. So that means first 4 we are going to use. How the mapping will be? Page 0 will be mapped on to 14th frame. Okay. So similarly, page 2 for 13th. Sorry, page 1 I say. Page 2 for 18th. And page 3, the last one is for 20th. Okay, so after this, which frame is not yet utilized is 15th, because we don't have those many pages, like how many frames are available. Okay, so maybe after some time 15th frame may be allocated if new page enters. If not, only these frames are sufficient. So what happens? 15th will be the free frame available even after allocation. And here page table, what is the present data is, see like this. Here page 0, page 1, page 2 and page 3. Those are not yet mapped onto frame. That means before allocation. Once it's the allocation, how the mapping has done, you can see now. Page 0 is filled with the first available frame. So what is the first available frame? 14. You can see here 14. Next page number is what? Page 1. What is the next frame available? 13. You can see here 1 with the 13. Next available, required page 2. Available frame number 18. That means 2 with the 18. You can see here 2 with the 18 in the allocation. So next page present or which is about to execute is page 3. Available frame is 20. So you can here imagine 3 with the 20. So you can see here 3 with the 20. So one frame is free, hence it remains in the free frame list. What is the updated page table? 0 with the 14. Okay, 14 is frame number. You can see here. This is what frame number outside. These are frame numbers. Frame number 14, page number 0. You can check here. Page number 14. Frame number 14, page number 0. Page number 20. Frame number 20, page 3. Let's check. Frame 20, page 3. It's also correct. Frame 18, page 2. You can check. Frame 18, page 2. That's right. Frame 13, page 1. Frame 13, page 1. This is how free frames are utilized. Now, what is important thing is we cannot even say continuously pages may arrive like 0, 1, 2, 3, but continuous allocation is not possible. at any instance of a time. It depends, okay, based upon the availability of frames and the order of frames availability in a free frame list, it is going to be utilized. Okay, hope you understood with this idea of frame and the table method. Sorry, free frame with the pages mapping. Okay, now coming for the next concept. Okay, how to implement the page table here. Now, what is the data structure we need to use for this page table? Okay, now very simple. If we are storing something, definitely we need memory. Okay, so if it's a memory, we need variables. Okay, since either pages are continuous or frames are continuously available, we may use in random, but they are continuously available. Definitely those are stack type or array type. I repeat, frames are continuously available. Usage is different, like not in order, but really speaking, frames availability is continuously. That means if not you say available, you can use the word allocated, or they are really present in order. Hence, we can say array. But what happens when we are fetching is, it is dynamically keeps changing. If I want to fetch a first page, what is a first page in this list? Page 0, where it is present 14. Next page, page 1, that is present in 13. That means backward movement. So from that page 2, again forward movement, not continuously, that is by jump method. So page 3, again jump forward. So that means what? Definitely it's a pointer. Hope it is clear. Pointer. So there we are using one pointer of the register type for page table. And also we are using length register, which is an integer type. This is a pointer type. This is an integer type. Why it is integer is, see, very simple. What is the example I have given yesterday is, you are entering a classroom. Okay. Once you enter inside a exam room, you should keep on, you are going to, you got a 8th bench where you need to sit and take examination. So what you will do is, you will keep on counting page 1, sorry, bench 1, bench 2, bench 3, like that. So wherever you see the number 8, you will sit there. That is your seat. In the same way, pointer is for room. This length is for bench or desk. Okay. So using these two data structure, one as a pointer and one as a length register, the page table is implemented. We should write page table implementation is done using one pointer and one as a length register. And also the very important question, who will get activated first, whether the bench or the base register, which is a pointer. Always you see, base register is important. Unless you select a base register, you should not go to any of the length. Very simple. Without selecting a room like A216 or A215, you should not try to search for 8th bench, because one definite problem is, in every examination room there is a bench called 8. But for you, which room 8th bench is reserved, that is important. So you should not think about bench number unless you get a room number correctly. Once you get room number correct, then you can, that means base pointer is reached correctly, that you have entered a correct room. Once you enter a room, then you need to think about where your bench is, whether it is in a first line, second line, third line, etc. Okay, I hope you understood now the concept. Okay, so here we are using associative memory and look aside buffer. How it works, we'll see in the one or two diagrams here. Okay, now what is that page table consist of? It consists of address space identifiers. Hope you know the definition of identifiers. Identifiers are the variables which we are going to use uniquely. So if I write in my C program, can I write this one like int a1 comma a2? Yes, this is allowed to write, but can I use, or can I write two variables like a1 comma a1 in the same program? This case is not correct, because both identifiers should not be the same. Okay, so a I can use, but the difference is suffix a1 a2. That means what? The all identifiers are unique. Okay, in the same way, every seat given for a student during examination is unique. He is not supposed to sit anywhere or any other location. Also, one more condition is no other student is allowed to sit in the space which is provided for single student or a particular student. Like USN 200, one bench is allocated there. Even 199 cannot sit. USN with the one cannot sit. USN with the 200 and above cannot sit. That means only allowed person is 200 USN. So any other person is not allowed. Also, no two students or more than two students are allowed. The space is reserved for exclusively only one person. Okay, that's what idea of uniqueness. Okay, so that means we cannot use the data or space which is reserved for some of the process. Okay, we have to go with we have to allocate for what, we have to utilize for which process or page it has been mapped onto. Otherwise, what happens if you keep on changing, if you don't maintain it uniqueness is, so every time we have to clear all data present in the memory again read. Okay, let me tell you what do you mean by flush here. Important word flush. Okay, let us see now. Assume this case. Presently, these all are available. Page one work is completed. He will go out for a while. Half work is done. He got interrupt. So again he will come back. That is using swap in and swap out. Okay. So again he will come back. When he comes back, should we give same space or a different space? So if it is a same space, no problem. Okay. So if it is a different space, show, then what I have to do is I have to clear everything. That means take out. Again, I have to give on 0th page, first page, second and third. That makes waste of a time. So if we don't maintain unique identification for addresses, we have to go with the flush at every context switch. If flush we did, the performance of the operating system affects, that means reduces, because it invests time only in allocation. Process execution will be delayed because of continuously changing seat arrangement. Okay, so that is the case. What you mean by, there are two words we will get, TLB miss and TLB hit. I think you know the definition of cache hit and cache miss. Simple way. Let me give one example for you. So you are appearing in examination. You got one question. Explain this architecture, something like that. Okay, what you will do? You will try to recall the diagram. Okay, and you will try to recall the explanation. So your memory is not able to recall it. That is called as miss, because you are unable to catch the data. After 30 minutes, suddenly you will get remembering that diagram. So that time what happens? Cache hit, or your idea has got, your memory is able to recall the diagram. So that is called as cache hit or cache miss. In the same way, if what happens if a table missing a number, so for that we have one solution here. Okay, so that I will show first, that diagram. Okay, then I will come back to this one, association memory. Okay, associativity of memory. See, CPU has generated a one address. Okay, so something like A216, that's a room number, bench number 8. This is a displacement. This is D is 8, address is 216. So what you will do, you will try to recall where is the room number 216. Since you are a CS student and daily you sit in A216 or A217 somewhere here, so you don't take help of any other person. So what you will do? Okay, regularly I used to sit in 215, maybe 216 is next to my regular class. So suddenly you will go there and you will on your own you will search, or if that room is of your friend, so suddenly what you will do, okay, that is the room where my friend resides, or his class is. So suddenly you will go to that room and you will find your bench and you will sit and take the examination. If it is something like a B216 which you have never visited, okay, let me show like this. If it is a B216, that means what? It's another block in our college environment. Maybe some students have not visited. They have visited only ground floor for Xerox and all. So the first floor, second floor, they might have not visited regularly. So what they will do, they will try to recall, did I visit that room B216? Did I see that or no? So he will come to know that, okay, he or she will come to know that I don't know that about that room. So what he will do, that is called as from his brain, it is a miss. So what he will do, he will ask someone who know about this B216, maybe the friend, maybe some coordinator of examination, etc. So that is a reference, standard reference, who know which room where it is present. Okay, to whom you are asking, he should know everything. Okay, so suddenly what he will do, he will give you idea. Go to that building, second floor, right corner, left corner, like that. He will give you guidance. Based upon that guidance, you will enter that new room which you have not seen or you have forgotten. So again, after entering that room, you will find out a eighth bench there, and you will take sit there and take an examination. Hope it is clear now how it works. If any doubt, you can ask. Okay. So I hope it is clear. Bench number 8, no problem. You can easily find it out. But room number, you should able to find out very early so that you are, you will not suffer any delay to entering the exam room. Okay. So that's what idea with respect to page table hardware. Here, what do you mean by hardware? Listen. So this, since we need to maintain something in the memory, so that means what here, so what is the something to store. So for that purpose we need a memory. If it's a memory, definitely we need something as a hardware like a disk or a ram or a cache or a resistors. Okay, so for that reason it is called as a hardware. And one more point of justification is why the page number, frame numbers are used. Yesterday I have explained you what you mean by what is the difference of page number and frame number. Here, okay, left side I am drawing a page numbers. Okay, how many pages are there? Same number of frames should be there. Only difference is the pages are present in logical address space. Okay, logical address space, whereas the frames are present in physical address space. That's a difference. Okay, so that is only difference, but they are one-to-one mapping. I said whatever the size, the same size should be for the frame also, but there is no rule that they are of same order, like how I explained in the other session. Okay, right? I hope you understood the hardware of the page table. So we need one hardware because we need to store the data. So we are using page table. Okay, coming for this important slide. So now the question, how you identified, what are the two things you should remember in your brain to successfully get seat in the examination during the examination? First thing is room number. Second thing is bench number. Correct? So every day room number is called like 4th sem A class, 4th sem B class, like that we call every day. But during examination we will give different name. Same idea. What is a everyday name? That is a page number. During examination we cannot call it as a 4th sem A room. We used to call A216. Okay, I hope you understood. What is a name we use daily? What is a name we use during examination of BTU? So like that we should able to remember. So what happens, exam coordinator will give different name for daily name rooms. Daily name we call it as 4th sem A, 4th sem B. During examination, coordinator will not give on the main notice board, go to 4th sem CSC room, etc. Okay, he will tell, okay, A216, A215. So we should able to identify what is a corresponding room number which is daily called as 10. I hope you are understanding. What is the examination time name given for that room, whose name regularly we call it as 11. Okay, so if you are able to identify this, okay, then what we have to do, once we enter either the name, either the names like, okay, page number, either you can call with the page number or you can call with the frame number. See, what I am wanted to tell you is, see, simple way, some students have got examination in their regular classroom. Some student might have got in other branch classrooms. So what happens, they both will communicate with each other after examination, where you have got a seat, where you have got a seat, like that. So what first person will answer, I got my seat in the I got seat arrangement in our regular class only. What do you mean by regular class? That is identified by page number. So that person will ask, where was your seat? So he cannot ask whether it is a 4 sem mechanical or 6 sem mechanical, etc. Because he or she may not be knowing about that. So that time what he used to tell is, he used to tell, okay, I got in second floor, first floor, like that. So that is what temporary name. Okay, but really speaking, exam conducts based upon frames, classes conducts based upon page. Same way. So what you mean by address translation is it's a pair of daily class number with a bench number changes to examination day room number plus bench number. I hope you understood. Daily what we call 4 sem A 8th bench. During examination we call it as room number A216 bench number 8. Like that we call. Okay, that is a process called associativity of a memory. Okay, here what is one displacement? Once you enter either reference of a page or you reference of a frame, then you can inside that limit, I mean inside that box or inside that classroom, how many, which bench you should travel to reach this. To reach a third bench, you have to cross 2 benches. To travel to 6th bench, you have to finish 5 benches. To reach 8th bench, you have to travel 7 benches. So that is what the idea of displacement. Hope it is clear now. Please practice this diagram. Okay, fine. Coming for the next. Memory protection. So what do you mean by memory protection here is, you got to know that. Okay, let me show you by the one diagram. Here only I will try to give. Here there is one process. Okay, process called P1. It wants to access page number PG2. Page number 2. Okay, so process 1 wants to write, but page 2 has a only permission of read. Anybody comes, they are not allowed to write. Anybody, it's not only P1, it may be any number of PN who is not at all allowed to write, but P1 wants to write. That time what happens? It is called unauthenticated access. So that means PG should be given with a sufficient protection such that no process try to write it, because it's a, say for example, it's a PDF file where nobody can write. If it's a Word file, anybody can write. Okay, so that means here, if the permission is given, then write any of the work, permission is given, it can do. But if permission is not given, that means the work should, I mean that process should not allowed to access that area. So that if any process try to violate, basic protection of the file or what page, we should provide a sufficient protection. So that is called as memory protection. I hope you understood. So that means what? Okay, see, simple analysis. You will go to theater. You will go to theater or something, some space or bus. Okay, so you two friends are sitting now. Suddenly, what happens? Some boys or some person who is very rough. He will come and he will try to scare the students or scare these two friends. Okay, so that he wants to sit there, but really speaking, those two friends came early and they got a seat there. Okay, so the person should give protection for the already who is sitting over there. So that is what idea. So there should not be any type of violation of the already defined process, protection. Okay, so how to do that? By providing extra bit called valid or invalid. I will show that first. Okay, here you can see this. Okay, see earlier page table, what it was showing page numbers outside page numbers. Okay, second column here, that means first column in the table frame number, and third data bit is now added with extra, that is called as valid or invalid. Okay, that means what? Here you see. Okay, now you can see frame 0. Okay, frame 0 will have page 6. Frame 0 will have page 6. But do their page 6 exist? No. So definitely that means what? if anybody try to access frame 0, it is invalid because file is or page is not present. I hope it is clear. Page is not present. Let us take this example. Page 1 is read only. I repeat, read only. And some process wants to write into that. So that means what? How to give this protection. So for any process, where is okay. Coming back to where is page 1 present? 3. Page frame 3. Okay, sorry, frame 3. Page 1, make it invalid. For what? For write operation. But for whom it is valid? For whom it is valid? Whoever wants to do only read work, that same process, sorry, same page will be valid because they want to read, and even page 1 is ready to give data for read operation. That time it will be shown as valid. Okay, that means what? Also, along with the protection, we have the extra data structure now. See, now you can see, is page table capacity increased? What earlier it was holding only page numbers and frame numbers. Now it has been added with the extra bit called as valid invalid. Later you can add something like this. Instead of setting priorities here, permissions here only you can say only read write, only execute, only, sorry, not only read write, it's a read write and execute. So this, what about this? Only write. See, now again data structure is increased. Okay, next what I can do? Read of how much? First 20 bytes. Read write of how much? First 40 bytes. Read write execution means it is a complete file. Write off for what? Only empty spaces. If a file has empty space, then see the data structure is getting enhanced. So what is the problem if we enhance the data structure? Means we have the whatever physical memory and whatever logical memory we have. Okay, compared to the size of logical memory and compared to the size of physical memory, unnecessarily we are increasing the size of page table. So that should not happen. Okay, so that for that reason we should think about adding very limited features for the page table. But some features are very essential, like valid invalid. Just now I have explained whether it's a valid or invalid, those features are essential. But it is within the name, it is allowing we can add a lot of data. I mean, we can add something. We should not add a lot of data where we will lose data or space unnecessarily. Okay, what happens if we make page table very length capacity is very simple way. Instead of giving room number A216, okay, I will give room number in terms of binary. What happens? 216 00001111000, like that. Unnecessarily I am enhancing it. So what student will feel? Whoever wants to enter the exam room, so he has to he has to take a paper 000111, he has to write, then he has to do a lot of process, and he finally he will get to know that it's a room number 216. That means what? Instead of making him freely going to the class, we are wasting his valuable time to search for a room itself. What happens? What is the problem with that is he will invest a lot of time in searching the room, and he will get some little tension, and he may forget the I mean whatever he has studied. So that means we should not keep on adding unnecessary data to the page table. And also whatever we add should be smaller size plus very essential, then only we should add. Okay, otherwise we should not add that such a information. Okay, so coming for the next, what happens if the pages are shared? Let me show you the diagram first. Okay, so you can understand. See, there is one physical memory. First you understand this. There is one physical memory. Frames are like this. Okay, so these are the frames here, and inside this are pages. So there is a frame 1 data 1, frame 2 data 3, frame 3 edit 1. Name of a page is edit. Name of page is edit. Let's concentrate this. How many processes are using this edit ed1? See, this is one process called p2. It is also using edit 1. There is one process called P1. He is also using ED1. There is one more process called P3. He is also using edit 1. That means what? This edit 1 is, as I mentioned, trying to access by three processes, P1, P2, P3. So now the problem comes. See here, when P1 is using right now, if P2 also requests, how to solve? If P3 also requests, how to solve? Should we stop P1 using and give P2? Should we stop usage of P2 and give it to P3? Or should we stop all the three? Or should we go with the FCFS method? See, this is what a problem. When it is a shared pages. Hope you understood what is the concept of page, shared pages. So that time it depends upon the algorithm of a memory management unit. If it may use a SRF algorithm, shortest remaining time, or shortest job first algorithm, or it may use a priority. It is not our control. It depends upon the memory management unit. Based upon the situation, it will take up any algorithm to give the same page which is about to refer by three different processes. Hope you understood. Okay, but this case we cannot explain in our examination, because what, one bench is there, we definitely sure that there we are not going to give same bench for two students. Okay, so here just for your assumption, what do you mean by shared pages? One space is given for three students. So first student will come, second student will also come. We cannot make first student to go out and let allowing second student. In the same way for a third student, or making whoever comes first, he will get the seat. That is not correct in our during examination. Maybe it is correct in bus transportation, college transportation, or day-to-day life class. Okay, but that is not correct in examination time. Okay, shared pages means that's what idea. So how to solve shared pages? It depends upon it depends upon the memory management unit. So sometimes memory management, what it will do, it will keep separate copy of that code and data for every process. That means what, pages are duplicated. Okay, here you can see the in the diagram. So edit one more copy here, one more copy here. So what happens? I will show here. This anyway, this is a free, no, here edit copy 1, ed1. So we have got two copies. So what it will do, P1 for third frame, P2 for fifth frame, and P3 for eighth frame. Okay, when this is possible, when we are sure that we have sufficiently more available physical memories or physical frames than processes. But this is not a correct solution when we have plenty of processes who are trying to use limited memory. That is not a case. Number of processes are very less, the memory is very highly available, then this method may holds good. If very restricted memory we have, then what is the method? Then memory management unit will take up a decision whether he should give by FCFS method, or it should be by SRF, shortest job, etc. Okay, round robin method. Anyway, so whichever the method, that is decided by memory management unit. So that's what idea about shared pages. So how they share, like we feel like how the threads used to share the resource, same way here processes will utilize or share the pages. Here resource means pages, who are sharing means the process, or and threads, process threads related to a particular process. Okay, now the condition. So if we should we have communication between such a pages or processes who are sharing? Yes, there should be a proper communication such that deadlock will not occur. That means what? See here. Okay, if edit 1 is presently used by P1 and also required by the P2, then P2 should wait. That is the concept of mutual exclusion. So if someone is holding a resource, other person should not rise for competition. So he should compromise. But what P1 should not do is, he should not unnecessarily hold ED1 and also request for some other process. That becomes hold and wait. So that means it's a fault of P1. Okay, and also we should try to avoid circular weights. That means P1 is holding edit 1 and P1 is request for edit 2. Let's assume P2 is holding edit 2 and it is requesting for edit 3. P3 is holding edit 3 and it is requesting for edit 1. That means circular weight cycle occurs, that definitely leads to deadlock. So we have to solve the deadlock. Actually, memory management will take care about that. It will give best algorithm to solve the possible deadlock. Okay, even the possibility is there. It may apply Banker's algorithm also, because it needs many resources at a time. So based upon that also, it may come up with a solution. But thing is, memory management unit together with the operating system take care such that deadlock will not occur. Okay, so now the coming last point, I guess, structure of the table. So from these three, you have three diagrams here. So definitely one question you will get. Definitely one question you will get. Also this type of table. I mean this question, hardware with a table. Okay, TLB. Okay, right. I will try to finish this if possible. Otherwise, in one more session, it is definitely possible to finish. Okay. Since before I could start this, what I want to tell you is I have forwarded notes of this module, and also I have given the assignment. Please start writing the assignment. Once we get the final call related to the exams or related to the offline mode, so I will collect the assignment for your side, right on time and keep ready with you. Okay, anyway, I have a plan of collecting assignment in hardware, means whenever you come to examination or something like some slots they may give from university or from a college. So we can come, you may need to come to college and submit or at least for your lab IA, etc. So during that time I will collect, but now you keep ready of the assignments. Okay, on time. So now coming for the structure of the page table. Now condition, what is importance of page table? I have mentioned you here, page table. Okay, so how it looks like, there will be one logical address. That address is split into page and frame. So using both, we are going to search a particular memory location in the physical memory. Now important thing is how the page table itself made up of. What we have seen page table generally, left side page numbers, inside frame numbers, corresponding frame numbers. That's what the architecture of a page table. Okay, now the condition. Okay, here I want to tell you some important thing. Okay, this question. What we do is every room 18 benches, 18 students, 18 benches. So rooms will be more. Correct. If we restrict only 18 students per bench, rooms will be very more. Okay, if I assume rooms are very large in the examination, let us reduce the room. What is the option to reducing the room? Inside room we should make more space for sitting the students, that means more benches. So what is the problem with this both method is, any method we use, it will definitely leads to little complexity. If I shrink the room size, number of blocks will increase. If we increase the block size, a number of rooms may reduce, but inside the room, it will be high. That means what? In the tuple called P with a D or F with a D, here I have mentioned P with a D and F with a D. If we decrease P, D will increase. If we if we decrease D, P will increase. So ultimately what happens, it's a constant number. So that we should be very careful. If we make the room number itself very length, like a 32-bit, how instead of giving 216, if I give 200153778, some number, big number for a room, student will find it difficult to identify a room itself, because I want to shrink the room, inside room capacity. Okay, so okay, I will take up this in the next session. Please give your attendance. Less than a minute is remaining. Okay, so I cannot make room number identification length and reducing the displacement, and also I cannot make a single